All right, people. So I'm gonna give you guys a reaction video, right? To art. TikTok is obsessed with making furry art. That is rather crazy, right? And I'm just being ignorantly biased here because that's just not my forte. I'm not a fan of any of that type of stuff, and for some reason, that is a big niche market out there to the point where it's starting to translate towards artists making furries. All right, so before we get started, I'm an artist, right, as well. I do a lot of digital illustrations and traditional illustrations as well, right? So I transform photographs into art, right? You guys see the before and after. So throw some suggestions down below of any IP, whether it's anime, Marvel, DC, any characters you guys want me to create, and I'll take that into consideration. All right. So without further ado, let's get into this.
It would appear artists on TikTok have unlocked a new level in the metaphorical drawing arcade and are quote-unquote ditching making casual art, drawing fan art of Genshin Impact and other anime characters, and are walking into the warm, welcoming arms of furry art and embracing drawing not safe for work furry art for hundreds of.
That's a different background. He's probably on vacation, man. He's living the dream, man. He's living the dream. Shout out to Muhammad, man. Shout out to Muhammad.
Dollars, if not thousands. Let's talk about it, I guess.
We can pay you handsomely.
I am now a child of light. Your earthly money holds no appeal to me.
$20,000.
What do you do and how much do you make?
I do like NSFW art, depending on what it is. It can be like $30 to $50, but yeah.
What's NSFW?
Not safe for work, so I actually do very
Yeah, baby! You guys see my face? I'm like an old geezer right now, man. I don't understand. But hey, will I ever succumb to making furries or NSFWs? I mean, hey, more power to them, for them making money off of it. But it's pretty much starting to become a sickness that becomes worse and worse and worse. It's like OnlyBans replaced the B with the F. That's what it reminds me of. But hey, artists got to adapt. That's just not my adaptation. Me personally, I wouldn't adapt to it. But hey, it is what it is.
Artists who once painted dreamy landscapes, stylized anime portraits, and painted their OCs under dynamic lighting are now frantically clawing the earth drawing anthropomorphic wolves in hoodies, cute pups with hot abs just lounging around aura farming with their emotional backstories, and taking multiple commissions drawing any and everything that has fur, a tail, and pointy ears. But the question I kept asking myself before diving headfirst into this topic was, why are all these artists suddenly interested in making furry art? What is the big secret? What are they not telling us non-furry drawer artists and are gatekeeping to only a select few? But first I had to learn
I mean, even back then with DeviantArt, and they still do it to this day, they have a lot of anamorphic type of characters, and they'll put them in sexual positions, whether it's homoerotic or straight, regardless of animals having sexual activities, and they will have that on DeviantArt. Even before that, they will have I remember those days. I was like, man, because it's just on the feed, and I'm just like, what is this? They also would have two anime characters who are males kissing each other, and I'm just like, well, and you can already tell it's probably either someone who's homosexual or someone who is a female artist making stuff like that. Like they're laying with each other and all this stuff. So hey man, that's that niche, man. That's that niche.
And properly educate myself on what a furry was. According to the Reddit scholars, a furry is a person who enjoys anthropomorphic characters, including characters that might not physically be anthropomorphic but still have human sentience and interactions. Anthropomorphic meaning characters that are basically animals which also have human characteristics. Furries are drawn to animals that are portrayed with human traits such as being able to.
And what's crazy about this is that YouTube, internet, whatever. Like, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole one time, and somebody interviewed a furry and somebody who dressed up as that, and they asked how much, because there was something with compilations of people at Comic-Con, right? And they'll ask each person how long did it take to make the costume and how much did it cost to build it, that type of stuff. And there was one person who had their own costume that was a furry, and they asked how much did it cost to make the costume, and they said like thousands of dollars. Thousands. So these costumes are not something you can just you could buy on Amazon. A lot of the times they kind of make them piece by piece, or they'll buy it as a whole thing, but it's not through Amazon. It's like some higher end stuff, and they pay a lot of money. This is one of those niche markets that are just, I don't know, it's just a different world right there. People say gamers are obsessed with video games and all that type of stuff. Nothing compared to furries, man. Nothing compared to it.
Talk, walk upright, or wear clothes. They could also develop a fursona, which is basically a character that they identify with and is a visual representation of themselves as an animal. These fursonas could be any different animal species like wolves, cats, dogs, dolphins, kangaroos.
I am a kangaroo. Ooh, kangaroo fursuit. I have not seen too many of you guys before. Can I see a hop, please? That was actually pretty good.
Literally any animal you could think of could pass as a furry, I guess.
And don't be surprised if some of these people work for the government. I'll be honest with you. Some of these people are probably CIA or FBIs, or surgeons, because they fully hide their identity. This is their alter ego. This is them embracing themselves dressed up in this costume, And then who they are as God flesh, whether you believe in religion or not, your flesh is not who they are accepting. Let's just put it that way. It's literally just the mask persona. The mask is who they are, and their actual skin is not who they are. It's a very, I wouldn't say weird. I wouldn't say interesting. That's their dynamic.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that bit. Furries also create and wear fursuits, which are elaborate and highly detailed costumes that depict their fursona
and they cost
in
money.
All its glory.
They pay a lot for it,
and
they got a lot to
on
pay
all
for.
fours or upright, totally embodying their fursona. Furries also have communities where they connect and interact with each of their mutuals and develop strong friendships with each other. People in the furry fandom all share their interest in anthropomorphic characters through writing, role-playing, attending conventions.
I see how my
wearing
face
their
looks, man. I
fursuits,
just
and
look so
also
like,
through
what
art,
is
drawings of
this?
furries, fursonas, and everything
I
else.
feel like it started off with just mascots in sports, right? Basketball, like NBA, NFL. It was just mascots, or Barney, children's content. And then they just turned it. This is their adult version. Just like how we used to be into Hot Wheels, and then you still have that when you buy a Lamborghini or Ferrari and all that type of stuff. That's culturally accepted, and their version is continuing to wear costumes and wanting to be continuing that lifestyle of a mascot that they represent themselves.
Else in the fandom has been around for a while and has been popular in the art community since the early days of Tumblr and DeviantArt. Comics like Black Sad featuring walking and talking animals all dressed up playing detectives and robbers have been around since forever and have accounted for many drawings and fan art across social media platforms. Artists on TikTok have not been exempted from drawing furries and have been posting videos after video drawing big bad "why are you looking at me like that, sir" wolves, which end up making me battle the constant urge to dress up as an oversized fox with 9 tails. Videos pranking their art friends trying to find out which of them is a furry by asking them to draw a dog have also gone viral on TikTok, just because of how absolutely ridiculous the results each of the friends end up drawing.
I mean, anything now is just crazy how like something like this because of this niche market can just go viral. But yet, you know, people like myself who could work hard making their own OCD, which is original character designs, it gets lost in the shuffle as far as the algorithm is concerned. But the algorithm for something like this, that's humor, that's dealing with furries, will just go viral. It's crazy. Let me fast forward this.
Seem to all be peaceful for the most part. And at first I thought that was the reason why people were starting to draw furries and all of a sudden felt it's safe enough to show their old furry art, because apparently people are appreciated and welcome in the furry fandom. But then I saw this video and the gears started turning in my head and everything immediately made sense.
Doing furry commissions because apparently they're rich. Yup, they are. Like I said, they got money. I know from optically looking at these things, your knee-jerk reaction is, this is weird. Why are they wearing a costume? What is this? Like, this is strange. This is not Halloween. Why are you wearing this? And just like when I saw that video, it cost them thousands. So if you could just easily cough up thousands of dollars, equivalent to buying a car, you got a bunch of these furry costumes, then they got bread. And as, again, starving artists, they smell anything that has an ounce of that moolah. They will adapt and do whatever it takes to make a living. You know, that's why it's called starving artist. So artists once again is adapting to all of this and drawing furries. It's just, hey, they're the patrons, right? They're the patrons. Telling they all work for the CIA, FBI.
That
Don't be
compared to other
surprised.
casual commissions on social media, furry art commissions pay much better. Like, much better. The price for a single full body furry character with color, shading, and a background sometimes falls within the ranges of $150 to $400. With more experienced artists, these
I thought it'd be more than that. Okay, this one says 800. So when you add more design elements to the costume, they'll pay you more. So I guess they're also looking at it as like somewhat of a blueprint. So if they want to make another or build another furry, they'll hire an artist to give them the blueprint so they could show it to whoever's going to build it for them, or they'll build it themselves.
prices go all the way into the thousands. A custom reference sheet for a fursona with multiple poses and outfits easily starts from $600 upwards. Artists who make 3D models and animated rigs for VTubers are swimming in metaphorical seas of sweet moolah just from making furry art. And then it all started to make sense why artists who normally just draw Pinterest girls or their OCs and make videos about them are now drawing furries and scampering around on TikTok making videos expressing how ready they are to start taking furry art commissions. And I don't even blame them at all. I mean, who will say no to making a bag from drawing a wolf in a sweatsuit?
You know what's interesting with this is that can even work for Disney. As crazy as that sounds, you can use that as your portfolio and show it to Disney, show it to Pixar, show it to Warner Brothers, you know, with like, oh, Looney Tunes is dead, but you know what I mean. Show it to Nickelodeon. That you could show it to any like big cartoon conglomerate, your portfolio with these furries, and they'll look at like, okay, you can draw anamorphic characters, and majority of cartoons are anamorphic characters. So, hey, I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, that is technically a win-win.
With abs.
We can pay you handsomely.
I am now a child of light.
Think about Zootopia.
Your earthly money holds no appeal to me.
$20,000.
The furry community is flooded.
Yep, their community is flooded with nice people who love to support the artist. If you're willing to do furry related art, writing, crafting as a whole, kind clients who tip really well because they're rich. Oh man, I'm gonna keep saying that. These people are either born with a silver spoon or they are CEOs or whatever company. Like, these people got money and they're behind the scenes. So you will never know. It could be a George Soros, you know, he's damn near, 100 years old or 94, whatever his age is. And he might be a furry on the down low. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. But hey, man, it is what it is. Wait, what the hell is this? That was weird. I got Instagram randomly sent me a message. I'm like, that was weird. But anyway, like I said, like, if they got the money, it's not a problem. That's funny
with
though.
nice people
Never
who
would have
love
thought
to
furry
support
would
the
be
arts. If you're willing to do
for
furry
artists.
related art, writing, and crafting as a whole, they're all kind clients.
That'd be good
who
for a lot
tip
of female
really
artists too,
well.
because they
I
like
paid off
drawing
my house with furry
anamorphic
art.
characters.
There were
more than males.
limitations and certain no-go things, etc.
Listen, I paid
But
off
it
the
was
house.
worth it. Remember, they can afford $5,000 fursuits. They are rich.
Yes.
A lot of the comments under
Yeah,
this
5,000. Some of them even more than that. Like, it's literally the price of a car, and it's a costume. Again, it's not something you could just go to any Halloween store or Amazon. These are premium, like NBA mascot level designs. They cost a lot. So these cats are balling.
video were either asking how to get furry art
They're
commissions
furballing.
or expressing their newfound love for making furry art and were in the process of transitioning into becoming a proper furry artist. But no one was asking the important question, which I assume is floating in everyone's head. Why are furries so rich? And for the life of me, I can't even answer this question. So I went back on TikTok and found a video explaining why furries were quote unquote called rich. I found this video that said furries aren't exactly rich, they just understand art is a luxury, which is why they are willing to pay a lot for commissions.
Nah, you gotta have some money. You can't be some broke dude and you're like, I'm willing to spend my... Actually, you know what? There might be people like that. There might be. But furries is... Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm being really ignorant here, but it's not an occupation. You know, like being a mascot can be an occupation if you're a mascot for the NBA or NFL or whatever sports team, for sure. But to just wear a costume as a lifestyle, it's just a passion. You know, it's a hobby. It's something that you do all the time. Like, I work out all the time. I don't get paid to work out. You know, it's just for health, for aesthetics. That's how it is for them. So I don't know. There might be some furry competition, like who has the best furry costume. I don't know. But for the most part, it's literally just they have an actual job or they run a company. So that's the main reason why they can easily pay for any type of commission, because they love to dress like this. So this is something that money is not a problem.
More than regular people, which makes a lot of sense since art plays a major role in the furry fandom, and seeing their personas brought to life with amazing art probably feels like walking in a...
Imagine if they had a furry runway. You know what? It's one of those catch-22, like whenever you think of, it probably happened. So they probably have a furry runway.
Fever dream to them, which is quite understandable, and I respect them for being open enough to paying that much for art. But people in the comments still pointed out that aside from furries just enjoying art and are willing to spend...
Sometimes they are, a lot of furries are actually pretty well educated, so they often make a lot. Also, I met one who was well known in my country. He says, I told you! Politician, CIA, FBI, you will never know because they're wearing a full-on costume. Never know.
And more money on it.
It's like alter
Some
ego.
of them work in tech fields, which apparently is why they truly
I can see that. Tech fields, yeah, software engineer, some developer, something like that. They work in multiple jobs because those jobs you could work remote. So they probably have two jobs at the same time. So they're making high six figures. And when you have jobs like that, because I work remote, like it can come off as really introverted. You know, you can be very closed. So this is their way to express themselves. So hey man, to each his own, man.
Are just rich. This video by TikToker Julio backed up these assumptions, explaining his experience meeting a furry IRL, and the conversation went like this.
IRL means
there are many times in life where I've been wrong, times where I've experienced lapses in judgment. I'm talking to this girl and I noticed that on her bag she has a little keychain, like a furry.
Is this sped up? Why is it talking? Why is he talking like that? Like, I've already noticed in this point and everything in my life and everything was. So I was wrong about this and everything just changed. And I didn't know that in the end of the day, like when I met the furry, it was actually pretty cool. I never knew that. Like, I think it's definitely sped up.
Tail keychain. And out of curiosity, I asked her where she got that. She tells me it's the tail of her spirit animal. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, we all have spirit animals. But she puts a lot of emphasis on the word animal.
We don't have spirit animals.
So, you know, I noticed that, and as a joke, I'm like, haha, what are you, a furry? But as soon as I say that, her fucking eyes light up, like a little boy who just got told that his dad, who was stationed in Iraq, is coming back. And she very, very happily and confidently tells me, yes. And I was really taken aback by this because she looks extremely normal. And I know that might be a very crude way of saying it. I'm not trying to say that all furries are fucking evil, heinous, abnormal people. But, you know, in my mind, I've seen a lot of, like, furry representation on the internet, and it's not always been the most positive. But this girl is bad as fuck, so if you're a furry, fuck it, I'm a furry. So I started asking questions of what I think a typical furry does. Do you have a fursona? Do you have a fursuit? Do you commission furry porn? I didn't ask that last part, but she did say yes to the first two ones. She has a fucking Egyptian Mao cat fursona, and she has the fursuit to match. And I asked her how much that costed, and she very casually tells me 12 bands.
Yep. 12 bands, meaning 12. Let me change the perspective. $12,000. That's crazy. 12,000 casually. Yeah, just 12,000. It's like the same as buying a car. You know, get a used car. You know, get an old new car. Well, not old new car. That's oxymoron. Get an old car, right? Yeah, just 12,000 for an outfit. You know, that I just wear. I just you know. It's nothing. Nothing. Wow.
12 band just casually owns my fucking net worth in a fursuit. And, you know, that interaction changed my fucking mental capacity. That conversation altered the way that I think about furries forever. Because, what? I later started doing some research on the internet, and I've come to realize a lot of furries are rich. A lot of furries have really high-paying jobs, like six-figure jobs. I don't know how or why that's an occurrence, but in retrospect, being a furry is an expensive hobby, right? You gotta pay for the fursuit, you gotta pay for whatever else. But yeah, that was a really big revelation to me.
The people in the comments of the
furries are fire, bro. Same with the candy community. I don't know what candy community is. Everyone is wonderful and relatable. I love communities with bad stigmas because they're actually just fun people, unless you're on Reddit. Everybody hates the furries till it's a money spread. I mean, hey, if you can easily cough up. Look, in the end of the day, in this world, majority of people want to be a part of something, whether it's religion, whether it's gym community, art community, music community, sports community, betting community, heavy metal community, R&B community, you name it, trap community, whatever, being part of a gang. Everybody want to feel like this, like they have purpose. So them working a 9-to-5 is something that's not part of their purpose. That's just them to make money so that way they can push it towards their purpose of being a furry. So from looking at it from that perspective, that's really ignorant of me to be like, well, that shouldn't happen just because I don't like it. Like, the world doesn't revolve around me. Just because I'm not into it doesn't mean they should just abolish it, right? They're not, as long as they're not harming children, who really cares? You know, this is why they have that strong niche. They probably have a bunch of, like, they probably go to Jeffrey Epstein's island on the down low. Like, we don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, they definitely will have, like, paying for the floor of the penthouse in a hotel, so they just rent out the whole space so they can just all have a good time. You know, if you know about good time, it's like it could be like a P. Diddy freak off. I mean, hey, whatever makes them happy, you know? That's not illegal to be doing that stuff anyway, right? As long as you ain't harming anybody else, you're not trying to advertise that towards children. You know, when a child becomes an adult, they make their own independent decision anyway. So I don't really see it as an issue, but obviously my knee-jerk reaction is like, what is this, right? That's the ignorance in me, because I'm not into it, right? Just like how some people could not be into fitness. Like, I like working out. You guys can see, like, you know, I got the guns. I like to exercise. I love resistance training. But for other people, they're like, ew, that's weird. Like, brother, ew, what is that, right? It is what it is. To each his own. And look, if it's helping artists out there and artists are adapting, doesn't mean you got to wear the furry. You're just designing it and you're getting paid. So I don't see a problem. I really don't. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.
This video all agreed with Julio and were explaining why this was normal, since according to them, a lot of furries work in STEM jobs, which explains why they get paid and are able to spend thousands of dollars on their fursuits and fan art of their fursonas.
Hi there, what do you do for a living?
I am a certified mechanic, but I do receiving specialist.
All right, thank you. Hi there, what do you do for a living?
I'm a train conductor in training.
Awesome, thank you. Hi there, what do you do for a living?
I work for Costco Wholesale.
Awesome, thank you. Hi there, what do you do for a living?
Hey, I'm a software engineer.
And I said software engineer. These people are making bank. And they get to hide. So you don't even know who they are, right? Man, that's...
Awesome, thank you. Hi there, what do you do for a living?
I work in retail.
Awesome, thank you.
Even work in retail, they're able to just, hey man, look, I remember when I used to work retail, and back then they wasn't paying me nothing. They wasn't paying anybody anything. Now you get paid like damn near 15 to 25 an hour working retail. Back then it was like, for me back then it was $10, and before that was $7.25. So that's crazy. And I remember, like, long story short, I remember a few of my coworkers, they will always go on vacation, especially the women. I'm like, how can you guys afford to go on vacation with the money that we're making? Like, who's paying for your vacation? They're like, and I'm thinking they probably just overusing a credit card, and that might be it. But what I'm saying in a nutshell is that when you're passionate about something, money is not a problem. It's not an obstacle. You will find ways, whether you're rich or poor.
Hi there, what do you do for a living?
I'm a QA engineer.
Awesome, thank you. Hi there, what do you do for a living?
Hi, I'm a nurse's assistant.
Amazing. Hi there, what do you do for a living?
Hi, I'm a pastry chef and mixologist.
Awesome, thank you. What do you guys do for a living?
In the Photoshop department for a school yearbook.
Woohoo! Thank you! Hi there, what do you do for a living?
Hi, I'm a counselor and a therapist.
Amazing, thank...
Nope, not gonna laugh. You a counselor and a therapist. You know what they say about certain therapists, right? That when you deal with a lot of clients and they have a lot of trauma that they're going through, you have to absorb all of that information, all that emotional energy. And it makes sense why they also need a therapist. A therapist also need a therapist, because you really can't make this up. Like, this person helps other people. I know I'm sounding mad ignorant. I know. But the world is very unique. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Thank you.
Other comments also mentioned how people in the
Yeah, I can't get past the small minority of people that are weirdos. The suits really make me feel uneasy, so I just stay away. The reason I'm like, the monitor is right here, right? So that's why I'm reading it like that instead of reading it right here, because I can see it through the OBS, but the letters are smaller. But I'll still read it right here because it's a better 3/4 view than side view. But anyway, yeah, I can't get past the small minority of people that are weirdos. The suits really make me feel uneasy, so I just stay away. No hate to anyone who enjoys it, just not my thing. Yeah, I'm leaning more towards that person who's just said that. I mean, look, anything technically is weird if you don't like it, right? Like there could be a girl that can, let's say even dating, for example, like one girl might find me weird, the other person might find me amazing, right? To each his own, is all subjective. Hey, so this is how Hey, so this is how most humans exist, by the way. Interesting.
Furry fandom were mostly nice and were unproblematic except for a small minority who were a bit toxic. Another artist made a video answering a comment that was making fun of them for drawing furry art, and the artist didn't even bother saying anything to the person who left the comment and just pulled up
They draw lesbian furries, how fucking embarrassing.
Oh man, $98,237, and don't forget about the 47 cents that we gave to you as a tip. Just a little tip, sprinkle of tip, but the whole thing is $98,237. Hey, they're laughing to the bank. All right. Hey man, everybody talk about integrity. If you're just drawing a cartoon, you can use this. This is not the NSFW, whatever it's called, not suitable for work. This right here, you can use as a portfolio for Disney and Pixar and many others. So this is not a problem. I can understand with like the other person in the beginning, like that female artist draws adult entertaining and uses that in animation. That's really not something, even though they probably worked really hard, no pun intended. You know, I mean, that's what she said. But anyway, that's what the artist said, right? She's a film artist. Oh man, okay, my dad jokes. Anyway, so like even with all of that, you can't really show that as a portfolio. What are you gonna say to them? Well, ignore the genital areas. I mean, look at how I created the animations frame by frame. It's like, yeah, but they're naked frame by frame, and this is just not something we can show our executives. So we just can't have you, man. This is good because your reputation, we got to care about our reputation. So you making naked stuff, and if people find out, then our company can go down under. So we're not going to hire you. So it's not like that. It's like, okay, you're drawing these. Because most people don't even know. Let's be real. Most people in the real world don't know furries. This is just some online niche, right? So if you show this to the old heads, I almost said old cats, the old heads in Disney or whatever, they're like, oh, cool. Remind me of Zootopia. You're hired.
Yeah, that sure is one way to shut a person up. I'm sure the person who made that comment is now somewhere trying to learn how to draw furries. Which leads us to another interesting part of drawing furry art commissions, or what my chronically online friends will call going to the dark side of drawing furry art.
What do you do and how much do you make?
I do like NSFW art, depending on what it is. It can be like $30 to $50, but yeah.
What's NSFW?
Not safe for work. So
oh, the female artist.
Very for the furry community. Yeah. Like I draw it.
Furry.
So furries are, I don't want to, I feel like it's a bit hard to explain. I don't want to offend anyone in the furry community.
Okay, so you draw furry.
Yeah.
And you draw it.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously you're very talented at drawing. And how did you stumble across this market?
Reddit.
Okay, so you like Reddit.
I saw someone doing the same thing on Reddit. So I was like, I'm gonna hop on.
Yeah, artists need to be careful when you get to that point, because that's like doing, like, would you, even if you're artists out there, even if you're not a non-artist, would you take a commission for someone who is a billionaire, right? Billionaire. And they're telling you, we want you to draw childography, if you know what I mean, right? Nastiness, disgusting stuff like that. And they're like, we will pay you millions of dollars just to do this animation. There comes a point where it doesn't matter if you're paying me $1 billion. I'm not doing it. You got to have integrity, because there's certain things where it's a line you just don't cross. Don't just do anything for the love of money. They always say the love of money is the root of all evil. So don't just take anything for it, right? I would never. Like what? I know some people in the comment section are like, well, I'll do it. What are you talking about? 7 million. It's like, you got to think long term. Don't think about the moment. Think about how it can affect you long term. Like, you drawing something like that, and then what happens if FBI, CIA, or whatever finds out you have done stuff like that? Now you got to be behind bars because you are advertising something that is not suitable for a lot of viewers. You know, so just be very careful because the internet can get really dark.
On this, because I'm in uni, so I'm like, okay, side hustle.
Where can this take you? How much money can you make doing this?
I have no idea how much anyone else is making, but yeah, I'm making enough.
So do people just describe to you what they want?
Yeah.
And you decide, okay, I'll make it.
Or they'll give you some like inspiration as well to like.
And TikTok makes it so easy. Whether it's child whatever free, you know, or furries and all this stuff. Like, people forget, like, TikTok, all this social media platforms, people can have a lot of burner accounts and they'll just slide into your DMs like, hey, I seen your work. I really like what you do. Can you do this for me? They're going to butter you up, and they'll show you how much they're willing to pay. They'll even give you a retainer. Like, here's $7,000 as a retainer. You're like, what? Yeah, the rest of it will be at least like 2 mil. You're like, 2 Shaggy? But you got to watch out for that, because like, nah, no thank you. Then like, nah, what about 70 mils? Like, I'm good. You can go to somebody else, because man, you got to have integrity.
Refer to.
Yeah.
Sometimes they give me first owners, and then like I'll draw them. So.
Okay. Are you just using Twitter, or are you on like other things like Fiverr and things like
just
that?
Just Twitter for now.
Yeah.
Too scared to take it anywhere else.
You just could be huge. Do you get really disturbing commissions that you like don't really want to do?
Whatever brings the money in. Like, honestly, it's really hard to like draw the line at what's too much.
And do you?
No, it's an easy line to draw. What's too much? It's just that she's so deep in the rabbit hole that, oh man, I did not mean to make it as a furry. She is. Let me not use rabbit hole at this point. She is so deep in the. I can't even use the word deep. You know what I mean? She's so in it that it's hard to come out. God, anything that I say is just gonna come off like that.
Do you have to do like revisions and stuff, or is it just like one and done? This is what I've done. Take it or leave it.
Revisions sometimes when I feel like I haven't quite got what they've wanted, but yeah, it's kind of just take it or leave it.
A real life artist accepting R-rated furry art commissions and talking about their whole process in public. Wow. That's a first. I never thought I'd expect to see an artist openly admit to drawing R-rated art and making money off of it just in person on a video, but there's a first time for everything. Although I feel like her prices were kind of low just because of the type of art she was making, and when I scroll through the comments, everyone else were telling her to raise her prices since she was making R-rated art and were explaining how she could be making more from the kinds of commissions she was taking. I guess I was right. The price for that kind of art is mostly dependent on your popularity and skill, detail, etc. It's a competitive market. You can't just raise your prices. You make the price that gets you commissioned. I got a friend who does that and she charges 200 euros minimum, but is paid for her wedding. Well, I guess she's living a happy married life after all.
200 euros. Alexa, what is 200 euros in USD?
200 euros is about $225 and 66 cents.
Okay, so 225. So that paid for the wedding, 225. Man, that's a cheap wedding. Normally weddings in the US they go up to thousands. Maybe that was like a local, but then again, it's euros. So I don't know, but that doesn't seem too high in my opinion.
Furry commissions gotta be an overpowered income. Those people make like thousands per drawing. While some people kept wondering why furries paid that much for a drawing and questioning if any of this was even real, it will appear this meme actually originated from a furry art commission that ended up costing over $20,000. This situation happened a while back when someone spent almost $23,000 on furry designs, which ended up looking rushed and incomplete and had the whole community mad over the drawings. Isis has a really good video about the situation and talks about it in depth, so you can definitely go give her video a watch if you want to know more about that. Accessories, dynamic posing sheets, expression sheets, maybe even a little animatic.
So in other words, you got to make a concept art of a furry. So literally anamorphic character. Because technically speaking, is not a furry, it is a character design, right? A furry is a actual human being dressing up in the costume. So if you're drawing it, it is a character design. So you can always mask it as a character design. It just sounds more like a concept art character design from different angles.
If you're up for that. That way people buying your commissions will end up paying more if they want any of these additions along with their characters. This really good video by Cyanide talks about furry commissions and how much you could actually make posting furry art. He also starts a challenge trying to learn how to draw furries and just make a profit off of it, and it was such a roller coaster of a ride. I think you really need to watch the video just to see what happened.
So to truly answer this question, I can't half
polishing it up and ending up with a pretty detailed image, which isn't really a bad thing since in the end you're just making art you enjoy. But the most we could hope for is the commissioner is as enthusiastic as you about the drawing and decides to pay you more for spending all that time in.
I mean, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I'll just give you guys my conclusion. I think in the end of the day, if you're not doing anything that is related to pornography, just add the P onto it. Ornography, right? Borinography. I guess I could just use that. Borinography. If you're not creating things in that realm, but you're just doing character designs, whatever they do with it, I mean, a lot of starving artists, we will always complain on the simple fact that like there's not a lot of people that's willing to pay you, right? And there's always going to be the whole, we'll pay you when we like it. We pay you when we like it in the end. So you got to keep on doing free revisions until we like it. Like, you deal with a lot of that type of stuff. So if you're dealing with a client who's like, hey, make a furry for me, and you're not doing the fabrication, you're just making the concept. It's like you're just drawing some sort of a NFL, NBA mascot in a way, and you get paid for it. I don't see. Like, drawing my conclusion from here, I honestly don't really see it as an issue. I don't. It's not sexual. It's just drawing characters, right? It's just character designs, right? And it can actually help you improve if you're not so great at drawing anamorphic characters, right? Which is a lot in Disney and Pixar and all these other cartoon industries. So, hey man, for those artists who is adapting towards this, go get the bread. Don't feel ashamed, but just be careful to not get too deep into the rabbit hole. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. And speaking of drawing, throw suggestions down below of characters you guys want me to design, whether Attack on Titans. Those are the ones I've already done, but any different anime or Marvel DC characters you guys want me to create, just throw it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That really helps out with this channel. It's a small channel. Let's get it up to 1,000 subscribers, man. I don't normally say that, but if this does well, just, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, all right? And throw suggestions of different videos you guys want me to react to, all right? So that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.